What is poppin', people? Welcome back to The Funk. I'm your host, Miss Funkadelic. Thank you so much for tuning in. For today's episode, I'd like to introduce to you guys something that I learned about myself this week. So I ended up thinking about all the expectations that I have for other people in my life, whether that was my friends or my romantic partner or even my family. Sometimes I even drift off into the past and I'm like, man, they should have done better by me. But realistically, that is just a fabrication of an expectation that I have because of something else that I'm missing. So for today's episode, I'd like to introduce to you guys the expectations of our fabrications, or the fabrication of our expectation. Let's get started. Okay, so the definition of a fabrication is the process of manufacturing or inventing something. And an expectation is exactly that. It is something that you're expecting, whether it's from a situation, a person, your pet, even from yourself. Now, when we're talking about expectations, we have these expectations for other people that we need to fulfill something that is in ourselves, right? Something that was missing before. Maybe it was some traumatic experience that thwarted you, or many traumatic experiences that thwarted you off that sort of balanced feeling. So we end up trying to fabricate our expectations through our relationships. Our fabrications can come to us in many forms. Sometimes we'll try to, for instance, if we are expecting our romantic partner or our friend to feel the same way about something that we feel about that same thing, and we don't get that result, we're going to be highly disappointed. We open ourselves up to so much more disappointment because there's something that's going on the inside, and I'm trying to fabricate it through that other person. Because we're such powerful beings and we have such grand imaginations, what we tend to do is manifest those imaginations and those ideas as materialistically as possible. And sometimes that comes in the form of shaping another person or a group of people or a situation in our lives. What we tend to forget about ourselves is that just as much as we desire those manifestations, somebody else is living a different life, has a different family, has a different expectation in their life than you do. By acknowledging that we have those desires and those expectations, we can now turn inward. So instead of mirroring or reflecting on the other person and expecting something from them, we can start to ask ourselves questions. And the first question I asked myself was, what am I expecting? When you find yourself in a situation where you are frustrated, something's not going your way, the first thing that you should do is breathe. The second thing that you should do is ask yourself, what am I expecting? Am I expecting this person to react the way that I imagined or had an idea? Am I expecting from this group to fulfill me in the way that I imagined, that I had an idea of? See how that takes away the blame from the other party already, and it starts to really make us recognize, damn, we kind of blew this situation up a lot bigger because we were confused. What's up, baby? Guys, this is my cat, Sugar. I love him very, very much. He doesn't like that, but he loves me. Okay, so this brings us to our second question. How am I expecting this expectation to play itself out? Sometimes if we feel like we want to be wanted or we're feeling a little insecure, we may expect from our friends or family or our partners or even our coworkers for them to fulfill that insecurity. So we expect it to play out, whether it's through flirting or whether it's through texting someone every day or just simply being there, some form of attention. Then you're like, okay, so the thing is that I found out is that I am expecting something from this person and I need attention. That's how I feel. So now we at least know how we feel, and it takes away that expectation of how they're going to get it done when they don't even know what you want yet. And the third question that I asked myself was probably the deepest one, and that was, where is the expectation coming from? I often retrace my steps back to the conversation back to what led me to desiring that need, you know. So if it's for attention or something, like, was I talking about my body before? Am I sensitive about that? Was it the fact that I don't have as many followers as somebody else? Was that making me feel insecure? There's all these little messages that are in your conversation that you can trace all the way back right before you start feeling that insecurity or that desire for expectation or of someone else or some group in your life. Usually those expectations are coming from something that comes from the inside, and I think that this was something that I really wanted to share with you guys this week, because I felt like I was losing my mind in a way, because I was so confused as to why I was feeling these feelings of jealousy, these feelings of fear of missing out on something, you know, and everything, because COVID has us all locked down and has us kind of like iffy, and we're in the middle of the civil rights movement. Like, it was just so much that was on me, so much pressure that was on me to perform, I felt. And then I realized, who's expecting this of me? No one's expecting anything. I have my promise to you guys. I love this. I love having these conversations, but no one was expecting anything from me. I wanted to buy things, I wanted to go out, I wanted to travel, I wanted to meet these expectations. And then where did it come from? It came from my insecurity. It came from me, the fear of missing out. Something that simple. Isn't that amazing how we untie our own brains? Like, we can do this. This is so dope. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you coming by every time. I don't care how many of you guys are here watching my videos. I just appreciate the ones that do, and if you sit through it, that's even better. Go ahead and subscribe, comment, like if you have any questions. I'd love to have more conversations with you guys and answer more of those questions on my next videos. See you next week.